Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Duchess of Unicorn YouTube channel. And before I get started, while my dogs are quiet actually, so hopefully they stay that way. Before I get started, I want to thank one of my YouTube watchers, and I'm not sure why I can't see the whole name, but let me just click on her. So it's Goddess of Chiron. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And she has so graciously pointed out in a comment to me just a few minutes ago, about 50 minutes ago, and I'd like to read that to you because I think it was very purposeful and really where I'm seated. So Goddess Chiron, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm so sorry if I'm chopping the name up incorrectly. You can always correct me on that. I too myself, she says, I am mixed race and American. Those I preached to about MM before, who happen to be black, know she's her for the BS. No, now who happen to be black, now sees her for the BS. But before I got stoned, I hope she meant stoned, and sound like a hater. Oh, before I get stoned and sound like a hater, now everyone can see it. It's not about color, it's about creed and character. She sought out Prince Harry, claimed that she never heard of him, side-eye, and now marching her way up the ladder, just like her dad said she would. She's such a shame, and I liked her. Now she wants to do a doc claiming poor little old me again. Girl, bye. Only time you claim black is when it's beneficial to you. And then she gives this wonderful link, which I opened. And here is the link, and it's in the comment section of the channel, Duchess of Unicorn. So here is MeghanOnline.com. And I'm showing you this because, you should know. However, I want to read this to you. And welcome to our site, it says. We will be launching shortly, so we invite you to register your interest in, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Register your interest by completing our form. In addition to the store, we will be updating you on all work carried out on behalf of all the numerous and important charities and foundations. You will also be entitled to free access to the Meghan Online YouTube channel, as well as our own online streaming video message facility. This will allow you to send us your own video and text messages. I don't know why you'd want to text message them, but you can do that on Instagram, but whatever. I guess in that way she can delete them without having the world see them. So if you send her a private message and she doesn't like what you say, it can just be bypassed and deleted and no one would be the wiser. This will allow you to send us your own video and text messages using various social media platforms. We are also delighted to announce the imminent launch of our very own social media app, which we are very excited about and hope you will benefit from using. As registered users of this site, you will be the very first to receive all the latest news and announcements as they happen. So thank you for your patience, and we hope you enjoy our site. Thank you. Now it says press announcements. I'm assuming if you hit it, but here's the form, and anybody can go ahead and make that form out. Now, a couple of things I want to say about this, in my opinion, and again, I'd like to insert the disclaimer right now. Everything that I'm doing, as you know, is sourced from the public domain. So any websites I'm seeing, any news articles, anything at all, any blogs, any photos, you see it as well along with me. So we're not streaming, but we are recording together, and we're streaming my browser, which is based in the United States. Now, a couple of things it's great that she has her online site, which is going to be, I'm assuming, merching a bunch of stuff, and she's not going to be using the royal titles at all, which is great. I guess that makes the queen pleased. I'm not sure how great she thinks it is that a duchess from her family a woman who married into her family that became a duchess is now going to have a site that you can buy things from. Imagine if Kate did that. Wow. I mean, imagine if the queen did that. Wow. So basically, when we think of royalty, we think of people that are above doing the small things. And it's definitely not about jealousy or about, feeling that you have to one up somebody. It's just that royals don't need to do that. It's just that simple. There's no necessity for it. But we see Meghan has a necessity or a need to have an outlet online in which she can merch things. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about this is I don't find this website particularly good, because if you submit your information, your phone number and your name, you can be traced. Whether you use a alias name, first and last alias name, if you put a phone number in, you can be traced. And with her in a certain, or her team in a certain status to where they have access to a lot of private ways to grab information, attorneys and other things like that, your information, like your phone number and what you really feel, think, or say, is always going to be exposed at some degree. So I would personally never do this. Now, if you do this and you sign up for her website and you think you're going to get all these great little tidbits because you're going to be part of her, she's trying to build a squad, an official squad, I would hit the terms and conditions and I would understand them perfectly clear, 99 to 100%. Because if you don't know what you're submitting to. Everything is an exchange. Now, my channel is based on entertainment. It's for fun. It's not to harass or to belittle anybody, but it's to share my opinions with others who may feel the same. Now, if I were Meghan, I'm assuming that that's what you would do on your YouTube channel. So Meghan is trying to take every avenue that she possibly can in order to make sure that, in order that she can collect directly into her own possession or her company's possession information on whoever's interested in her. So just remember, everything is an exchange. Just like on any YouTube channel, you subscribe, and for subscribing, you get access to every download, or every upload that a YouTuber does. And sometimes you even get access to other channels in which somebody can maybe gain, more information or, rewards, or just more information that you can share on a more personal level. So for me, the MeghanOnline.com will be a place that she can obviously merch. But remember, when you sign up, you're giving your phone number, which means if you are someone who may not in the future follow her because something she might do or say, she now has your personal information. Regardless if you share your real name or you put an alias down or what have you. Okay, and that's just society in itself today. Now, my content is sourced on the public domain, and it is all my opinion and my views, which aren't the truth necessarily, but they're how I feel, and it's under freedom of speech, and I'm based in the United States. I'm also biracial, so although it's not about being biracial, I like my subscribers and people who tune into the channel to understand that nothing I say can be racist. I'm biracial myself, and I feel I'm a fair and decent type of person who just likes to research the royals, and their history is really, really interesting. Whereas Meghan's history is not interesting in the same dynamic. However, it's my opinion that Meghan Markle wants to be interesting in a real capacity, one that spans many, many outlets. And unfortunately, I feel if her career hasn't blossomed by 40 into what it's really going to be in acting, then why now do you feel that you need to be in every single outlet? Various outlets, because why? Maybe she looks up to Beyonce, or maybe Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow, who even Gwyneth Paltrow tried to do singing, but she was really good at acting. But singing, that didn't really take off because it's probably something that was more of a hobby or something that she aspired to do, but she wasn't really aligned to do so. So she's got goop.com, and it's a lifestyle, health, wellness, alternative wellness merchant. It's a kind of like an e-commerce site, and she does really, really well at that. She stays in her lane, and she found her lane. But however, Meghan just had not found her real lane, which she tried to have in acting, but took down acting and her lifestyle blog in order to do something more in line with maybe Prince Harry and marrying into the royal family, which she thought it would bring her much elevation. But I believe it's not the kind of elevation she had originally desired. So right now, this Meghan Online is now being launched, and that's interesting because it's almost like all this stuff is happening, like she goes to bed at night and she wakes up and she's like, I have to do this too, because you can. It's like she's doing anything because she can do it. In other words, if you have millions of dollars, and you're sitting at home and you're like, I think I want to start, I don't know, a charity for art. Okay, and you have the money and the connections to do so, you might utilize those. And the next few months later, you decide that you would like to have a trip to, Spain. And you have the money and you utilize that and you take the trip to Spain. And then maybe a few weeks later, you decide you would like to, I don't know. You're interested in starting a show on television, and you have some connections that could help you to that end, and so you do. So when I say because you can, or I should refer to Meghan, because she has access to the funding to do so, she is doing so. That sometimes isn't just enough, and it doesn't give you the self-worth that you really are searching for. What you're searching for, perhaps, in my opinion, or people in general do, is they search for self-worth in all the wrong places. It's not something that you can search in other people, your self-worth or your self-respect. And also, you have to have the couth in order to feel that you are actually looking at yourself in the right way. And so I just want to, this article is not what I'm focusing on. I just wanted to get off the website Meghan Online because Of course, it's not ready to launch yet. It's getting ready to launch, just like probably many things that she's going to be doing are getting ready to launch. I put a video out yesterday about a company that is going to be doing a documentary. Quiet. It's going to be doing a documentary, and it's going to air on March 10th. So we just have to find out what outlets, what channels is this going to be on, because I have no idea, and the article did not talk about what channels this documentary is going to be on. This documentary that I put out in yesterday's video is not a documentary fueled by Meghan or Prince Harry. It's an independent company. So I'm really interested in seeing this, and they say they're going to put out a great deal of documentaries on different subjects, and this just happens to be one about Meghan Markle. I think it's put out by Vice Studios, so I'll try to look that up, and maybe if I find something juicy or interesting on it, I will post another video. But I just wanted to take a minute and thank the YouTube subscriber and for her comment and her link to MeghanOnline.com, which she did today for me, and I really appreciate that, because when I went there, I wasn't surprised, but I was like, she's actually mentioning YouTube. So at this moment, I'd like to say, what does that mean for there's like a handful of YouTubers, there's probably way more than I know of, but there's a handful of YouTubers like myself who are just creating different videos on Meghan. So we're uploading on a topic, which is basically the royals and Meghan, Prince Harry. And some of these YouTubers have been here way, way longer than I have. I'm just brand new. I'm nothing. I'm just some person that just thought I should share my thoughts too. And I feel like there's more people like me, biracial or not, that are in America that have these thoughts and our views and opinions are like, Meghan just has a lot of things that could be done better. And so on the flip side of that, so can everybody else. It's not that it's a Meghan bashing channel. It's about just being frank and honest with our opinion and just sharing it with other people who maybe it resonates with. It's okay if it doesn't, but you'll never hear me say that Meghan is, it's never going to be about race per se in terms of, unless I'm associating it with my own, because I too am biracial. And otherwise than that, it's not about race. It's not about, trying to prove she's this god-awful person. It's about just sharing views and opinions. And we are entitled to do so as long as they're not harmful. So we're not saying go out and do anything to anybody. We're not saying anything like that. I'm not even saying anything real. I'm just saying my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. And that's going to be the way it's going to be. And I think that this should be a safe area to be able to do so. That's why anybody who is like Meghan's camp, who's going to come over here and try to knock people down at the knees because they don't love what Meghan stands for, is going to be deleted. They're just not going to be here. I'm not going to tolerate that, and neither should you. So in that, I'd like to say again, thank you so much to the subscribers. I'm an infant in YouTube video world, and I really just did this because A, I have the time, B, I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to the royals. I do love, it's like a guilty pleasure following the royals, because that's kind of what you do if you kind of enjoy the pageantry of it all and the sparkle of it all, and it is a little bit tainted a little bit now in our modern era with Meghan coming on board into the royal family with Mexit, and she'll forever be known as Mexit, so just let's get that straight. But I really find that this has been a really weird thing with her coming into the family, and the way Prince Harry is happens to be acting. Wow, tongue-tied. It's really, really interesting, really, in the terms that we just can't figure out how Meghan fit. And now we see that she really does not. And it's not us Because obviously, if it was up to the people to vote her in or out, she probably wouldn't have even got in. And if she did get in, she probably would have been out much earlier than her stepping back in our current day right now. We probably would have voted her out. So, and I mean we, I mean the general population of fans of the royals who don't really like or approve of what Meghan is kind of standing for or how she goes about things. So clearly it's not anything the public is doing. Meghan's failure is Meghan's failure. And maybe if she's lucky, they'll do a new Suits. And maybe she'll be able to just really impress royals across the world by going back to acting. You know, it's not like she was Grace Kelly and she went back to, you know, award-winning theatrical appearances. It's not like she was Grace Kelly. She's not Grace Kelly of our day, and she's not, nobody has associated her with Grace Kelly. And if they have, they needed to have their glasses on. But of course, everything comes out in the wash. So if anybody had, you know, tried to relate her to Grace Kelly, Princess Grace of Monaco, because she was an actress as well, and she married a prince, which became king, but she had passed away in a car accident, such on and so forth. But Meghan is definitely not, the only thing she had in common with her is she was an American actress as well. But her status in Hollywood was legit. Whereas Meghan was on a bit show when no real American stars had really even met her or heard of her. And if they heard of her, it was in a different context. It wasn't ever about any award. She never won a Tony or an Oscar. She, for whatever success she had, it was in a smaller, more